so our third presenter this afternoon is Garrett Meyer. Garrett lives in Newell and attends Newell-Fonda High School. He is the son of Lee and Brett Meyer. The title of his project is Apple Orchard Renovation and Ongoing Produce Distribution with Student and Adult Education. Hi, Garrett.
Like you said, I'm Garrett Meyer, and this is my Uncommon Commission for the LEAD project for the Student Uncommon Student Award. So some starting quotes here that pertain to this project is our brother's care and welfare, instead of being our last concern, should be our first. This is kind of in the lines of treat your neighbor as yourself. For those who read the Bible, it's very good to put people in front of you that are less fortunate and make sure that they have a better life than you sometimes. And also, give joy for giving and sing hymns of thankfulness that you have to give. So the purpose of my project was, the problem is that community people are always in need of healthy supply of food, and the apple orchard that I maintained was in disarray and in bad shape. The concern was the production of apples was very poor, and the apples were getting wasted on the ground because they were rotting and insects were getting to them. And also, we need to find develop ways to give people a healthy source of food to make sure that doesn't go to waste and they also don't go hungry. Also, we need to make sure that our neighbors are getting provided healthy food and also have very good stewards to the environment, because if we just let things go to waste and viruses and funguses and get everywhere, things will go downhill very fast, which is not good for the ecosystem. So the definition, I have a passion to help those less fortunate people than me, make sure that they excel in life, and I also know that kids in my community struggle to get a well meal in the day, which is also very important to make sure that they're healthy. And I also wanted to renovate the orchard to make sure that kids have food to eat, that things don't go to waste. And also have a passion to teach kids that they don't live on a farm, how things work, and food just doesn't come from the grocery store. It comes from somewhere else and has to get processed during that. So the goals were to renovate the orchard to make sure that it produced everything that it could to the maximum potential. I wanted to educate myself, 4-Hers, students, and other leaders in the community about what's going on. I wanted to develop a budget to cover expenses and be self-sufficient, and also wanted to establish a volunteer group to continue Herbert Gruber's vision of helping the people of the state and America. Also wanted to improve my leadership, presentation, and communication skills to everyone that I met and present this project to, and also wanted to educate the kids who are sometimes don't have enough knowledge to know what the heck's going on outside of their homes. I also want to educate adults in Newell Pride Days on the food deflate process. That is, once again, not just from the grocery store. It's from a certain place on a farm. It has to make sure it's get processed, then it goes to the store for them to get. Also, most important thing, I want to donate the apples to the Newell Food Pantry in town to make sure that the food shortage is diminished as much as possible. So the procedure, it started in March 2020, right when school got out from the COVID vacation, which I had plenty of time to do that because we had 7 months before school started back up. The orchard was in worse shape than originally thought, because there was apples everywhere from the previous seasons, and they were rotting, and that's not good for the trees because they still have fungus that makes the apples rot, which is not good. And also, I wanted to clean up and prune the orchard, which cleaning and pruning helps the potential and production of the apple trees go up dramatically. And also, I used my own chainsaw and pruner, as well as transportation, to make sure that I was sufficient with my funds. I didn't need to rent anything yet. So these are some pictures in the process. This is pruning and cleanup. As you can tell in the middle picture, that's not even at the end. This is like the first time, like the first trip we had to take to clean up the orchard. And it took about 5 trips to clean it all up. And there's branches on the ground, and also need to clean up all the apples. This is more cleanup process. This is in the summer. We use 2,4-D to spray on the trees to make sure the weeds don't take the water and nutrients from the trees, so they can have maximum potential. And also, I had to check for fungus, and we didn't have to spray this year because we were fortunate enough that we didn't have any. That means they're organic, which people look for because they don't want to have pesticides, herbicides all over their food. And also, I had to trim weeds on the tree to make sure that the weeds also didn't get the nutrients that the trees needed. And this is the apple blossoms that happen after pruning, and this is after you prune, this is what happens, and it's amazing because the more blossoms you have, the more apples you get, which equals more things to give to town of Newell. And this is what happens. This is also a closer picture of the apple blossoms, and with blossoms come bees, which come later in the presentation, as bees are a great pollinator, and pollination also make sure that the trees are healthy, and also the fruits of the harvest are great. And the trees that we have there are Golden Delicious and Jonathan apples. We only had 2 red apple trees there, which are the Jonathans. The rest of them were Golden Delicious. We started picking these late July into the August, month of August. And these are more of the apples that we donated to the food pantry. And that is the food pantry leader, Kurt Brown. And he's always looking for donations, which I was very glad to help and help out everyone else. And some families are very emotional that this happened because they didn't really think anything was going to happen like that. And then I came along and kind of helped them out, which they were very grateful for. And we processed a lot of apples to make sure that we can turn them into apple jelly, butter on a stand there. And 62 pounds are donated to the food pantry. That's just raw apples alone, not processed. 78 pounds are processed, as you see there. We skinned them, we cut them, and we put them in gallon bags, which we have 30-gallon bags in the freezer now. And we've had these frozen to make sure we can put in the byproducts as they're on the ladder. So some things that we have: apple jelly, apple pie filling, smooth applesauce, and chunky applesauce. My favorite is chunky applesauce. So back to the bees. Honeybees are nature's pollinator, and they add value to a healthy orchard. And also with the bees comes honey, which is also very high demand around where I live. And we had 150 pounds that we donated. That's 50 quarts of honey, which is quite a lot. And it's very important to those with allergies who suffer, because honey is a natural remedy to a lot of things, like sore throat, allergies. So analysis, also. As my mentor, Chris Cole, he's helping me with the process with the bees, which is very helpful because he gives me the information that needs to happen. So my analysis on this project is tremendous success because of the poundage of apples that we created and he gave to the people. Also, I'm a hard worker. I love setting goals to make sure I can achieve them. And I have many families thank me for my efforts and give them a better source of food and make sure they're healthy. And I love to educate people that are familiar with the process, like kids or sometimes even adults in the community who are kind of clueless, even though it's rare to have that in a rural community. And students and adults now have a better understanding what the process is, and also love to care for other people and also the environment, as the environment is very important to the state of Iowa. So flexibility with COVID-19. Newell Prime Days were canceled this year, unfortunately, due to certain reasons. And the Ag Siding Days, usually there's about 4 other schools that come to the Alley Farm, but that couldn't happen because of COVID-19. But we were still able, I was still able to engage the county youth director, 4-H, and FFA instructor of my school to put in a farm safety day for 3rd graders. And also wanted to enlist my fellow CYC members and FFA members to help me with this, which they were a great help because they are also ag oriented and they like to help other people as well. And we try to do our best to make sure that we can mimic ag siding days for everyone else in the 3rd graders. And also submitted and printed a relationship between honeybees and food production and statewide distribution. And a YouTube video about orchard care will be placed in the extension website and other county websites. And since COVID-19 went to our school, everyone's trying to put the video together, figure out the sources, that is still in progress. And these are pictures of me helping the kids. Less than 1% of the population lives on a farm, and I'm part of that 1%. And it's very important for kids to know about how food is produced, like the apples and the trees, and also the honey, and also how to be safe when doing that. And these are fellow FFA members helping kids, knowing what they want, knowing what happens with animals, and also like harvest. So orchard plans in the future, I continue this in the community, and also want to help great leaders see what's happening with that. All equipment and use gas is donated by me, which is around $150. I lined up some of the members of the high school football team, help with spring cleanup and pruning, and there are many willing members to do that, which is very good. And I also want to plant more trees for varieties of apples, more pollination, which will help the population of apples and production increase greatly. And also, the 4-H Club is taking charge of the process as well, and continue to serve the community well into the future. And also enlist a couple small other orchards in the area, at the Hillside Orchard, owned by Bruce Newell-Fonda. He's a great guy, and he loves to help other people as well. And the reason this is commissioned for relief is because Hoover, he sent food to Belgium during World War I because they were cut off from Germany. And he was able to help people with their food shortages, and also wanted to help with American people in the United States. So my closing quote I have is a Bible verse: "Do not withhold good from those who deserve it, but it's in your power to act." Proverbs 3:27. And I just want to thank you all for this opportunity, and greatly appreciate it. Any questions? Yes.
So I saw you had the 16-tree orchard, and then you were reaching out to all these other places, and you had like what 135, 140 pounds this year. What do you think is, if everything continues to go well and you have all these different sites, what do you think is kind of the community production capacity for this project?
The capacity, let's keep continuing to grow, which will be very good for the community. As long as the community is happy and they're getting the things they want, it's a very good sign, because then they'll keep looking forward to this, and they'll also support this effort as it continues to grow in the future.
Cool. Thank you.
So who owns these orchards?
The one I was maintaining is the Ali Farm. Well, the Ali is on the Ali Farm, it was owned by Iowa State University. It's like an extension farm. So Lyle Koster is his name. He's the overseer of that farm, and he allowed me to help with that, because there's also Levy County Gardeners Club, but I took the initiative to contact them and said I'll do it as well. Contact Lyle, and he was very grateful, because he said he did a very good job of doing this. So yeah, that was pretty fun doing that, helping Iowa State and also the Levy County Gardeners Club.
So they let you keep all the apples and everything? There's
Yes.
no you have to give them some or anything like that?
Well, if I wanted to be generous, I probably could give them some, but
Okay,
yes.
Second question, how did you learn how to prune trees?
We have cherry trees and apple trees on our farm as well. So I've been doing it for quite a while, so it's kind of a custom. And also, when you have a lot of different tools like electric chainsaws and stuff, you know how to take care and not just hack the branches to death. So that's a good experience, having stuff at my farm already to help me with this process.
One more question about the honey. So was that already set up there, or did you have to make the boxes and things for the bees?
We had to make, the boxes and the frames and everything we had to make. Had to paint the boxes white as well, because black, it's like 100 degrees in boxes for bees, and if it gets black, it gets hotter, and they'll die of overheating. So yeah, and also there's a whole bunch of techniques that we use, like make sure it's facing to the south. They register them in the Iowa beekeepers website. Make sure that the crop dusters would come down and spread pesticides on the soybeans and kill them.
So, and then, so you knew how to make honey?
Yeah.
People that, I mean, or you knew?
I knew how to do it. It's just you get a hot knife, you put it in a frame, you just you cut it down, make sure you get all the cap off, and you put it in a filter. Then you into this vat, and you just put it in the jars. Or if you want to get fancy, those little bears that come in stores.
Why was the orchard in such bad condition, and how did you find out about it?
On the way to school, I drove past every day, and I also kind of looked and compared the tree that we had and kept pruning, and compared to this one, the branches were going into each other, which is not good. And yeah, it is the apples on the ground will create a fungus that makes the apples rot, which production will go downwards. So that I just wanted to make sure, I wanted to improve this and also help the community with their shortage of food that some families have.
But so Iowa State just wasn't taking good care of it.
Not necessarily, no.
All right.
Garrett, I want to follow up on the beekeeping question here, because I was a former beekeeper in my younger days and things like that, and I was going to ask how you got people kind of involved in that, because I know a lot of the processes that you have to go through with the bees, looking at them during the winter, and having people that kind of know how to approach that hive and light colors as opposed to dark colors and things to keep from being stung. So did you have any trouble getting the beekeepers involved with that, or did you do all that yourself?
So actually, there's an Iowa Honey Beekeepers Association scholarship. My sophomore year that I was accepted to, and Chris Cole was kind of the mentor guy in the area, and he was very grateful to help me. And I reached out to him to help me with that as well. So I just learned, like, we went to the scholarship thing down there, and I learned some stuff down there, but I also researched beforehand. But yeah, he was a great mentor, and he helped me with most of the stuff that I learned as well, like what kind of stuff they use to smoke, not like to check the bees during the night or during the hottest parts of the day because then they call them. Make sure there's a brick on top, something heavy on top of the hive to make sure skunks don't get into the hives. So it's very interesting, very fun to take part in.
Let me offer a suggestion, maybe some fundraising on that. Have some people sponsor a hive out there and get some of your restaurants in the area or something like that to use the honey in the communities. So that might be a future type thing for the project for you.
All right, thank you.
Quick and easy one. What does the acronym CYC stand for?
County Youth Council for 4-H.